So for today, we'll be continuing leukopoiesis and megakaryopoiesis. Okay? So for today, the outline of our discussion will be an introduction, of course. So let us just go back to what leukopoiesis is all about. So last time we did your erythropoiesis. So today we'll be doing leukopoiesis. Nothing to worry because the nomenclature when it comes to leukopoiesis and megakaryopoiesis is one and the same. It's just that in RBC, in erythrocytes, there are three nomenclature. Okay? So, for today, we will be discussing the leukopoiesis first. Okay? So, leukocyte classification is generally into two classifications. The first one are the granulocytes. So, when we say granulocytes, these are a group of leukocytes whose cytoplasms are are filled with granules. Okay? Filled with granules with differing staining characteristic and whose nuclei are also segmented. So later on, when we go about our discussion, um, we will be having your granulocytes and also your mononuclear cell. So obviously, your mononuclear cells are those with unsegmented nuclei, and not only with unsegmented nuclei, they are also very important when it comes to immunological responses in the body. So let us go to granulocytes first. Okay? So your granulocytes are made up of first your eosinophils, your basophils, and your neutrophils. It is made up of Ben. Okay? Ben, basophil, eosinophil, and your neutrophils. On the other hand, we also have your mononuclear cells, we have your monocytes, and we have your lymphocytes. So these five WBC here are the one that are included in the different WBC differential count. So please take note of that. This five WBCs are the one included in the differential count. Okay, the one included in the differential count. So let's move forward with our discussion in granulocytes and your mononuclear cells. So remember that during our discussion last time, a pluripotent stem cell or a hematopoietic stem cell can actually differentiate into two. First is your first, okay, before it become a colony forming unit gem in a colony forming unit lymphocyte, it first became a progenitor cell. And what progenitor cell is that? That is your common myeloid progenitor for your GEMM, and it is your common lymphoid progenitor for your lymphocytes and your natural killer cell. So see here that after it differentiated into your common myeloid precursor or common myeloid progenitor, it now became your CFU GEMM. GEMM stands for granulocyte, erythrocyte, mast cell or monocyte, and then megakaryocyte. So here, as you can see, we first discussed that the CFU-GEMM can branch out into becoming your burst forming unit erythroid and your burst forming unit megakaryocyte. Okay, and as for the RBC, this is your lineage. For the megakaryocyte, this is the lineage. Although later on, okay, fast forward with megakaryopoiesis, I will only be giving you an overview because megakaryopoiesis will be tediously discussed in your hematology 2 next semester. Okay? So, for today, what we're going to discuss is your colony forming unit granulocyte, one for your monocyte, your eosinophils, and then your basophil. Okay? For your basophil. So, let us go first for your granulopoiesis. So, for your granulopoiesis, we have three. Okay? Andito si Ben. Okay? Your basophil, eosinophil, and your neutrophils. But let us go first to your neutrophil, which is the most abundant of them all. So your neutrophils are also called your segmenters. Okay, later I'll be mentioning everything that you need to know about the other names for your neutrophil. So your neutrophils can be observed in your peripheral cell as first as a segmented neutrophil. That's why we call it sometimes as segmenters. Okay? We call them segmenters. Segmented neutrophils, segmenters, one and the same. We also have your band cell or your band neutrophil. Why band neutrophil? Band neutrophil is also a neutrophil, although it is the shape of its nucleus is different from the fully mature segmenter. Okay, the fully mature segmenter. So please do remember. Okay, please do remember that um the production and development of neutrophil occurs in your bone marrow. Okay, specifically in your red bone marrow, your RSVP. Okay, your bone marrow. Your neutrophil was the production of your neutrophil was initiated by your cytokine, which is your granulocyte colony stimulating factor. Okay, lahat ng CSF in hematology, okay, CSF when it comes to hematopoiesis is colony stimulating factor. Colony stimulating factor. Do not be confused with cerebrospinal fluid because we're not talking about that just yet. Okay? So GCSF is granulocyte colony stimulating factor. Okay? So your neutrophil has two pools. Okay? It has two pools. Actually, not two. Okay? It has around three pools. Okay, three pools. We have your stem cell, your proliferation, and your maturation pool. Okay, maturation pool. So we have your stem cell, proliferation, and your maturation pool. So unlike your erythrocytes later on, mas madali lang yung classification natin when it comes to your neutrophil. So, nice thing to know, okay, your stem cell, of course, these are where your hematopoietic stem cells are. Your proliferation or your mitotic pool, okay, let me just repeat that. Your proliferation or your mitotic pool is where dividing cells are in, okay? That is part of your bone marrow, okay, part of the bone marrow where the current proliferation or multiplication of your neutrophils are happening. Okay? That is where it is happening. In addition to that, we also have your maturation pool. Okay, the maturation pool, that is where your neutrophils had their nuclear maturation. Okay? Obviously, nagmamature sila doon. Okay? So let us go to the neutrophil. So here, from a hematopoietic stem cell, it become a common myeloid progenitor. After becoming a common myeloid progenitor, it becomes now your colony forming unit GEMM. After that, okay, your granulocyte monocyte colony stimulating factors will actually act upon your common myeloid progenitor, becoming now your myeloblast. Your myeloblast is the earliest or the most immature cell in the neutrophil series. Okay? So after myeloblast, it will now become your promyelocyte. After it becomes your promyelocyte, it will become now your myelocyte. And then after it becomes now your myelocyte, it becomes now your metamyelocyte, and then your bond cell, and then becoming now your neutrophil. Sir, what are the things that we need to remember here? Remember that in the stem cell pool, it is just your hematopoietic stem cell. Well, actually, all stem cell pool naman, it's just the hematopoietic stem cell. And then we have here your proliferation or mitotic pool, where your common myeloid progenitor until your myelocyte is they belong to that proliferation pool. And then we have your maturation pool, which is your metamyelocyte, your band cell, and your neutrophil. So we're gonna go into that one by one. So this is just another illustration, okay, from the stem cell, its progenitor, and then the precursor, and then the mature neutrophil that you are seeing in the peripheral blood, okay? Peripheral blood. So, sir, um, once you see metamyelocyte upward, that is abnormal. But if you see band cell and segmenters or segmented neutrophil in your peripheral blood smear, that is just normal. Okay? That is just normal. So let us go first to your myeloblast. Okay? Your myeloblast, okay, it has a round to oval nucleus. It has 2 to 5 nuclei. The chromatins are fine, and the cytoplasms are moderately basophilia. Okay? It has three classes. It has type 1, type 2, and type 3. Okay? Type 1, type 2, and type 3. So, moving forward, okay, so as you can see, this myeloblasts are cannot be differentiated to other cells, okay? They cannot be differentiated. But sir, how did they know na that is the myeloblast? Okay? That is because of the CD or the cluster of differentiation. Makikisulat na lang po ako, ha? That is your cluster of differentiation. So for your myeloblast, this is the earliest or the most immature um progenitor cell of your neutrophil. So after your myeloblast, okay, after your um myeloblast comes now your promyelocyte, okay? Your promyelocyte. But before I move forward, okay, please take note that the primary granules, okay, the primary granules are already observable in your myeloblast, okay? Primary granules are already observable on your um myeloblast. Okay? Already observable on your myeloblast. So moving forward, let's go to ayan, these are your myeloblast. Okay? That is also this one also is your myeloblast. Okay? This is also your myeloblast. So after being a myeloblast, it will now further differentiate and mature into becoming your promyelocyte. Your promyelocyte is also called your progranulocyte. Okay? Your progranulocyte. Although, ayan, mas specific if we will be using your promyelocyte. So it also has a round to oval nucleus. It has 1 to 3 nuclei. The chromatins here are fine but slightly coarser. The cytoplasm are basophilic. And this is how it looks like. So guys, maybe some of you, ayan, balik ko lang ha. Maybe some of you are wondering, when it comes to the nucleus, the appearance of the chromatin, the nuclei, and the cytoplasm, remember the one I gave you during erythropoiesis? That is also applicable to all other cells, okay? It is also applicable to all other cells. The nucleus at it mature will shrink. Um, the cytoplasm will be of the majority. So it is applicable up until your um up until your WBC. Okay? So here, okay, please take note that the nucleus has a paranuclear halo. Okay? A paranuclear halo. Okay? So it has a paranuclear halo within it. So when it comes to your promyelocyte, okay, when it comes to your promyelocyte, your cytoplasm are basophilic. Ayan, this is the picture. The cytoplasm are basophilic, and as you can see, the nucleus. This is one thing that you would notice on the immature neutrophils because um their nucleus is not yet segmented or not yet segmented or not yet in a band form. Okay, not yet in the band form. So after your promyelocyte, we have now your myelocyte, okay? Your myelocyte, which is your neutrophilic myelocyte, okay? It is also known as your neutrophilic myelocyte. So, your neutrophilic myelocyte still, okay, round to oval, okay, round to oval. But the nucleoli are no longer visible. The chromatins now in this part are coarser and are more condensed. The cytoplasm became slightly basophilic to cream colored. And this is how it looks like, okay? So what one thing that you would observe actually here is that the neutrophil, okay, the neutrophilic myelocyte, the nucleus are starting to shrink and see that the cytoplasm is becoming less basophilic as it was on the beginning. Okay, that is what in the beginning. So please take note, okay, please take note that during this time, primary and secondary granules in the cytoplasm are already in the cytoplasm. So, sir, why are you keep mentioning the granules, the appearance of the granules? Because we are talking about granulocytes, okay? We are talking about the granulocyte. So, in this particular stage, your secondary granules are becoming predominant. Okay, they are becoming predominant contributing now to the sandy appearance of your neutrophils. Okay? Becoming now a becoming now your becoming now a sandy appearance. Okay? And okay, one thing that you need to know about myelocyte or your neutrophilic myelocyte in the neutrophil um neutrophil maturation, this is the last stage that is capable of cell division or your mitosis. It makes sense. Why it makes sense? Because, okay, I'll just go back ha. When we go back here, the last stage in the proliferation or the mitotic pool is your myelocyte. Meaning to say, the last series or the last stage capable of capable of mitosis or cell division is only your myelocyte. Okay? That is your myelocyte. So, after your myelocyte, we have now your meta-myelocyte. So, sabi natin last time, di ba, the erythropoiesis series na the proerythroblast, yung mga ganon-ganon, are actually the same with the granulocytic series. Okay? So let's go now with your, sorry, medyo let's go now to your metamyelocyte. So your metamyelocyte, specifically your neutrophilic metamyelocyte, the nucleus now start to be indented. Okay? The nucleus now start to be indented. So how are you gonna be remembering this? From the proliferation or the mitotic pool, all the cells there are round to oval. But when the neutrophils start to become your metamyelocyte, your neutrophilic metamyelocyte, the nucleus start to be indented. And it start to become kidney bean shape. Okay? Nucleoli are no longer visible and the chromatin are now moderately clumped. So the cytoplasm are pale to pink to cream colored or sometimes it is colorless. And and please take note that during this time the tertiary granules are starting to appear. Okay? Tertiary granules are starting to appear in the metamyelocyte. Okay? It's starting to appear in the during metamyelocyte. And this is how it looks like, okay? This is now your neutrophilic metamyelocyte, okay? Neutrophilic metamyelocyte. So again, things that you need to know, it as now indented. So kidney shape, peanut shape, same. Okay? The indention, okay? Please take note na lang, okay? This is how we're gonna differentiate your metamyelocyte and your band cell. The nucleus, I hope you're looking at the PowerPoint. Um, the nucleus here, okay, are already indented, okay? But please take note, the indention is less than 50% pa. Okay? Very minimal pa lang. Less than 50%. Okay? Less than 50%. Moving forward now, let's go to the neutrophil bands. Okay? The neutrophil bands. Neutrophil bands are the nucleus are constricted, no thread-like filament. Okay? The thread-like filament, I want you to underline no thread-like filament because later that is how we're gonna differentiate it from your segmented neutrophil. Okay? So, nucleoli are no longer visible, chromatin are clumped or coarsely clumped, the cytoplasm are pale pink to colorless, and this is how it looks like. Okay? This is how it looks like. Sir, how am I gonna differentiate, okay? How am I gonna differentiate the um how am I gonna differentiate the metamyelocyte and the band cell? Or here's the thing, everyone. Both your metamyelocyte and your neutrophilic metamyelocyte and your neutrophil band are indented. Both their nucleus are indented. But how am I gonna differentiate it? The metamyelocyte, okay, the neutrophilic metamyelocyte, the indentation there is less than 50%. And then, for the neutrophil band, the indentation is greater than 50%. Are we clear, chat box? Okay? Are we clear, guys? Are
Yes
we
po, sir.
okay? So, 50%, okay, greater than 50% ang indentation, neutrophil band. But if it is less than, that is still a neutrophilic metamyelocyte. Okay? So, that is for neutrophil band. And please take note that your neutrophil band are included in the count of your neutrophil. Remember, kanina sabi ko, during the differential WBC differential count, we are counting for your Ben-ML, your basophil AO, your neutrophil, and then your monocytes and your lymphocytes. Your band cell are also included, okay? Your band cell are also included as given by your CLSI, okay? By CLSI. Okay? So band are included in the count. So after we have now your neutrophil bands, we have now your segmented neutrophil. Okay? Your mature neutrophil or your segmented neutrophil. Sir, how am I gonna differentiate a band from a segmented neutrophil? This is now their differentiation. Your segmented neutrophil has 2 to 5 lobe nucleus, and that is connected with a thin filament. Remember, your band cell do not have a thin filament. Why? Because it's just indented. Are you getting me, guys? So the nucleoli are not visible. The chromatin are also coarse and plump. The cytoplasm are pale pink, cream colored to colorless. And this is how it looks like. Okay, so as you can see, this is multi-lobe. Okay, this is multi-lobe. And as you can see, the one that you are seeing here, that one, that very thin filament connecting this nucleus from this part of the nucleus are your thin filaments. Okay, your thin filaments. Please take note, okay, please take note that in the peripheral blood smear, the relative count of your neutrophils is 50 to 70%. Although much of that will be discussed when we go to WBC differential count, huh? WBC differential count. So aside from that, before we proceed, your mature neutrophil are also known as your segmented neutrophil, your segmenters, also known as your polymorphonuclear WBC. Okay? Your PMN WBCs. Okay? Your polymorphonuclear WBC. Aside from that, please write it down that your neutrophils are also slightly increased. Okay? Start to rise by the age 4 to 7. Okay? By the age 4 to 7. So, ayan. So, before I proceed to the the other functions of your neutrophil. Okay, so let us just go back to the picture. So this is how it looks like from a stem cell becoming now your progenitor, okay, becoming now your myeloblast, your promyelocyte, and then your metamyelocyte, and then becoming now your mature WBC. Although this one, this is a band cell. This is a metamyelocyte. Okay, metamyelocyte yan. Okay, so what are the functions of your neutrophil? Okay, what are the function of your neutrophil? And please take note of these things, ha? They are capable of chemotaxis. They are capable of phagocytosis. So phagocytosis is very important. Okay, that is very important. One of the very important function of your neutrophils. Okay, so sir, what is chemotaxis, motility, and diapidesis? Let me just go to that in a short while. So phagocytosis and destruction. So the different steps is the recognition and attachment, ingestion, the killing and digestion. The killing and your digestion. So let me first um define to you what is chemotaxis and what is diapidesis, because those are two different things. Okay, because those are two different things. So what is diapidesis first? Ay, wala pala dito. Okay. What is diapidesis first? Okay. Diapidesis, let me just go back to that part. So diapidesis is the movement of your cell, okay? The movement of your WBC from the blood vessel going to the site of infection. So that is diapidesis. Diapidesis is the transit of your WBC going from, okay, your WBC from the blood vessel going now to the infective tissue or wherever. Okay? Pag once na lumabas sila sa blood vessel, we call it diapidesis. So is that the same with other WBC? Yes, it's the same. Diapidesis yung tawag when they are transiting from the blood vessel going to the tissue or going to the infective tissue. What about chemotaxis? Okay? What about chemotaxis? Chemotaxis can be of two kind. It can be positive or negative chemotaxis. Okay? When I say positive chemotaxis, okay, positive chemotaxis, the blood cells are attracted to the particular site. Okay? So take for example, there's an infection on your your sabihin na natin on your skin. Okay, there's an infection on your skin. So the blood vessels, okay, the WBC in your blood vessel will undergo diapedesis. So yun yung paglabas nila sa blood vessel. Diapedesis yung tawag doon, okay? But the chemotaxis, the moment that your white blood cells are being attracted going to the site, that is positive chemotaxis. So meaning to say, chemotaxis is the movement of your cell now going to the infective site. Okay? Going to the infective site. Sir, parang kamukha ni diapedesis. Yes, para silang magkamukha ni diapedesis. It's just that a chemotaxis is your chemotaxis are influenced by your chemotactic agent. Makikisulat na lang ako ha. Your chemotactic agent. So what are chemotactic agents, sir? Okay? What are chemotactic agents? These are cytokines, these are substances within your body that influence your WBC to move into or towards a particular site. Okay? That is your chemotactic agent. Okay? So that is chemotaxis. So let me just unplug my ano. Okay? So are you guys aware what is phagocytosis? Let me just ask nga. Are you aware what is phagocytosis? Hello?
Yes po, sir.
Okay. So most of you naman, 'di ba, are aware of phagocytosis. Phagocytosis in as defined in your ANAFI, that is cell eating. Okay? Cell eating. So during phagocytosis, what happened really is that there are different stages of phagocytosis. Okay? But for now, let us just stick with the basic steps or procedures in phagocytosis. Although this will also be discussed in your immunology. Okay? So balik lang natin, no, what happened during phagocytosis is first, the recognition and attachment. Okay? The recognition and attachment. But before mangyari yung recognition and attachment, what happens first is um, your 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 diapedesis. So your neutrophils are being recruited into that particular site, okay? Who recruited them? The chemotactic agents, okay? The chemotactic agents. So the first thing that your neutrophil will be doing is to get out of the blood vessel, and we call that your diapedesis, okay? We call that your diapedesis. And then after that, um after diapedesis, they will now start to recognize and attach with your bacteria or your parasites, or even your infected, yeah, parasites or your bacteria. But in the case of your neutrophils, these are your bacteria. Afterwards, it will now be engulfed. Okay, it will now start the ingestion. Okay, ingestion. Please take note. Okay, that in during ingestion, one of the key feature of in the ingestion or the engulfment is the formation of your phagosome. Okay, the formation of your phagosome. Okay, that is the formation of your phagosome. Afterwards, okay, so now that the bacteria, okay, the foreign element is already within the neutrophil, it will now start the killing and digestion. Okay, the killing and the digestion. And there are two parts. We have your oxygen dependent and the oxygen independent digestion. Okay, the oxygen dependent and the oxygen independent. Afterwards, there will be now a formation of neutrophil extracellular traps. So within the cell, the nuclear and organelle membrane will start to dissolve and activate the enzymatic enzymes. Okay, the enzymatic enzymes to disintegrate and to completely destroy the foreign material or the bacteria within your neutrophil. Okay, within your neutrophil. So that is for your phagocytosis. So the phagocytosis is one of the main one of the main function of your one of the main function of your neutrophils. Okay, one of the main function of your neutrophil. So moving forward now, okay, moving forward, let us move into your granules. Guys, medyo madami yung granules, ha? And you have to familiarize yourself with this one. Okay? Familiarize yourself. So, for the primary granules, it starts to form in the promyelocyte stage. Okay? Primary promyelocyte. Primary promyelocyte. It contains your myeloperoxidase, your acid beta glycerophosphatase, your catepsins, defensins, elastases, and your proteinase 3. Okay? Your proteinase 3. On the other hand, we also have here your secondary granules. Your secondary granules start to form in the myelocyte and the metamyelocyte stages. Okay? It starts to form in the myelocyte and the metamyelocyte stages. And here we have your beta-2 microglobulin, your collagenase, gelatinase, lactoferrin, neutrophil, gelatinase-associated lipocalin, and your transcobalamin 1. So if you would actually observe, okay, if you would actually observe, guys, no, this particular granules are the one that will counteract the parts and the components of your bacteria. Okay? The parts of your bacteria. Please take note, okay? Please take note that your primary granules are also called your what? Are called your azurophilic granules, okay? These are your azurophilic granules. And your secondary, okay, your secondary are also called your what? your your secondary papunta dun sa tertiary and secretory, these are now your specific, okay? These are now your specific granules. Meaning to say, specific granules, it is only seen in your neutrophils, okay? Only seen in your neutrophil. So let's move forward to your tertiary granules. Your tertiary granules are formed during the metamyelocyte and the band stage. Okay? Metamyelocyte and the band stage. It contains the following. Ayan, gelatinase, collagenase, lysozyme, acetyltransferase, and beta-2 microglobulin. And for the secretory, okay, for the secretory, we have here your we have here your granules that were formed during the band and the segmented stage. Okay, the band and the segmented stage. So it contains the following. Okay, it is in your Henry. It's found on your product. Okay, sir. What are the very important things that we need to remember when it comes to the granules? Okay, what I want you to remember when it comes to granules is the order of their release. Okay, the order of their release. The first to be released is your secretory. Okay? The secretory. And then the second one to be released will be the tertiary granules. The third to be released are your secondary granules. And the last to be released will be your primary granules. Okay? Your primary granules. Are we clear? Everyone, dun sa chat box. The first one is your secretory. Pabaliktad siya, ha? Secretory, tertiary, then secondary, and then primary. That's how it will be secreted. Okay? Secretory muna, tertiary, and then secondary, and then last one will be your primary granules. Okay? Last one will be your primary granules. So, to encapsulate everything, so this is how your neutrophils are produced from the myeloblast, becoming your myelocyte, your promyelocyte, your myelocyte, metamyelocyte, your band cell, and your polymorphonuclear cell or your segmented neutrophils. Okay? Segmented neutrophils. So, before I end, a while back I was mentioning that there are three pools, correct? That there are three pools when it comes to your neutrophils. And what are those pools again? The three pools in your neutrophils, we have your stem cell, your proliferation, and your maturation. Please take note, everyone, that these pools are within your bone marrow. Bone marrow. Bone marrow. Okay? These three pools are in your bone marrow. And now, what I'm going to show you are these are the pools in the bone marrow. The stem cell, the mitotic pool or the proliferation pool, and the storage pool. We also have pools in the peripheral blood. Okay? Pools in the peripheral blood. And I want you guys to take note of this too, ha? We have the circulating pool which is found in your plasma. Sila yung naglalakwat siya. Okay? Lakwat siya in the plasma circulating. Okay? And we also have the marginal pool. What are marginal pool? In the marginal pool, these are neutrophils that are adhered or that are attached in the blood vessel wall. Okay? They are attached in the blood vessel wall. Okay? Again, attached in the blood vessel wall. Okay? So once that they are in the peripheral blood now, so nahahati yung neutrophil. One will become, random na to ha, randomly divided, becoming your circulating neutrophil pool and the marginated neutrophil pool. The marginated or the marginal pool are the one that are attached in your the one that are attached in your blood vessel. Okay? So ayan sila. So, by the way, this marginal pool, okay, are usually seen in yung mga prone, okay, prone sa mga foreign objects, okay? Prone sa mga foreign objects like your spleen, your liver, your lungs. We can see those neutrophils there, okay? We can see those neutrophils in there, okay? And please take note, everyone, okay, that the usual half-life of neutrophil is 7 hours, okay? Only 7 hours. That's why it's the most abundant because it's the fastest to go apoptosis. Okay? So 7 hours lang ang kanilang tinatagal. Okay? 70 hours? 7 hours rather. Are we clear? Clear po tayo pagdating kay neutrophil? Hello? Okay. So let's move on now to the next one, which is your eosinophils. Okay? Very similar to your... Guys, ba't ako natagal sa neutrophil? Kasi the rest will actually be very much similar to your neutrophil. So let's go to your eosinophils. So your eosinophils are first, it becomes now your eosinophilic myelocyte. Hala sir, wait, parang may nalaktawan tayong step. Wala po tayong nilaktawan. Okay? Wait, ayaw gumalaw ng PowerPoint. Okay. So, eto siya ha. So, for all your granulocytes, mapapansin ninyo, for all your granulocytes now, myeloblasts and your promyelocytes are the same. Are you getting me, guys? Are we gets tayo, chat box, everyone? I need to hear from you guys. Okay? So, in the granulocyte for the granulocyte, so meaning to say, for basophil, eosinophil, and neutrophil, pare-parehas yung first two stage, which is your myelocyte and your promyelocyte. The thing is, it will now start to differentiate in the myelocytic stage or the myelocyte. It will now become your neutrophilic myelocyte and your eosinophilic myelocyte. And later on, your basophilic myelocyte. Okay? So moving forward now, let's go to technically this is the third stage now of your eosinophils, which are your eosinophilic myelocyte. Round to oval nucleoli are no longer visible, and here the cytoplasm are colorless to pink. Okay, it is colorless to pink. So as you can see, the eosinophil, the granules are very eosinophilic. Okay, reddish yung mga granules niya. So, the first appearance of your granules and the first to be identified in a light microscope among other eosinophilic series is your eosinophilic myelocyte. Okay? It is your eosinophilic myelocyte. So, in this case, okay, the granulocytes, the primary and the secondary granules are already starting to appear. Okay? Are starting to appear. So, ayan siya. Okay? So, again, the primary granules are your azurophilic granules. And then, here, the one that you are seeing na medyo orangey color, that are your secondary granules. Okay? That is your secondary granules. Again, what do I need to remember about eosinophilic myelocyte? It is the first appearance of granules happens here. And it is the first to be identified. Okay? It is the first of the ito yung distinguishable na eosinophils na siya. Gets tayo? This is the first to be identified in the light microscope. So moving forward, let's go now to your eosinophilic metamyelocyte. Okay? Eosinophilic metamyelocyte. So the nucleus here start to be indented. Okay, sounds familiar. Parang si metamyelocyte din ng neutrophil. So nucleoli here are not visible. The cytoplasm are colorless to cream color. Although, okay, sir, sabi mo cream to color, why can I not see it? You cannot see it because of the granules, okay? Because of the granules. Again, metamyelocytes, okay? In the metamyelocytes, less than 50% indention, okay? Less than 50% indention. Again, less than 50% indention. As opposed to your eosinophilic band, okay? As opposed to your eosinophilic band, okay? Sir, kamukha lang ulit ni neutrophilic band. Yes, kamukha lang ni neutrophilic band. And meaning to say, the indention here are greater than 50%. Okay? Greater than 50%. So, still the same. So, as you can see, this is your eosinophilic band. So, greater than 50% indention, but you can see here the secondary granules make it more distinct as opposed to your neutrophils. Bakit, sir? Okay? Because in this case, okay, you can see that the secondary granules, okay, the secondary granules are colored orange to dark orange. Okay? Orange to dark orange. Are we clear? So, in this case, okay, we have your eosinophilic band. Last but not the least, for your eosinophils are of course your mature eosinophil already. Your eosinophil can appear as a trilobe or a bilobe, 2 to 3 lobes connected by a thin filament. Sir, kamukha ni neutrophil? Well, medyo kamukha ni neutrophil, although what is the thing that will differentiate the appearance of your neutrophil from your eosinophil is the color of the granules. Okay? Again, your eosinophils are very distinct with their red to dark orange granules. Ha? Red to dark orange granules. Sir, binibilang po ba yung eosinophilic band? The eosinophilic band are also counted. Why? Bakit, sir? Remember here, in the eosinophil, yung the eosinophils, very distinct sila na very distinct sila na dark orange to reddish yung granules. So you will be counting them as well. Okay? They will also be counted. Okay? So eosinophils, ayan, eosinophils has 2 to 3 lobes. Okay? 2 to 3 lobes connected also by a thin filament. And this is how it looks like. Ayan. This is how it looks like, guys. Okay? This is an eosinophil na bilobe. This is an eosinophil na trilobe. And this is also an eosinophil. Okay? Gets tayo? These three are all eosinophil. Are we clear? Chat box, everyone. Ayan. So, moving forward now, let's go to the granules. Okay? Let's go to the granules. Later, try natin i-wrap up lahat. So when it comes to your eosinophils, ayan, the primary granules are again secreted in your promyelocyte. They contain Charcot-Leyden crystal proteins. Okay? Mamaya, parang saan po si Charcot-Leyden crystal? Okay? Later on, we'll discuss that. So your secondary granules form throughout the remaining of the maturation. One important thing that I want you to, these are the granules, you can see it on your Rodac. So one of the key granules that I want you to remember is your major basic protein. Okay, major basic protein. Sir, bakit? Okay, why major basic protein? Because this is the key granules responsible. It plays a major role in the ability of your eosinophil to kill your parasitic invaders. Okay? To kill your parasite. Again, that is your MBP, your major basic protein that is for your parasitic infections. Okay? That is the reason why eosinophils are greatly increased during parasitic infections. Okay? They are increased during parasitic infection. So moving forward, okay, we also have here other granules such as your small lysosomal granules. So your small lysosomal granules contain the following: your acid phosphatase, your aryl sulfatase, catalase, cytochrome, elastase, and your eosinophilic cationic protein. And it also contain lipid bodies such as the following. Okay? And you also have here your storage vesicle. Sir, ang dami po masyado ang dami po masyado ng mga granules, okay? Ang dami po masyado ng mga granules. Yes, totoo 'yon. Medyo madami yung mga granules. But in the PowerPoint, okay, in the PowerPoint ay naka-bold and naka-underline yung important na mga naka-underline or naka-bold yung mga important na granules, okay? As for the case, for example, of your eosinophil, your major basic protein, okay? Your major basic protein, okay? So, moving forward now, okay, tapos na tayo kay eosinophil, so let's just talk about its function. So, what are the different function of your eosinophil? So, your eosinophil, okay, is responsible for your immune regulation. What specific immune regulation? The deletion of double positive thymocytes. Okay? Paki-store lang sa puso at isipan si double positive thymocytes. So what do I mean by double positive thymocytes? Remember, your T cell, okay, your T cell can be CD4 positive or CD8 positive. Yun yung mature. Isa lang dapat. CD4 positive or CD4 positive or CD8 positive. Kapag merong mga double positive, what do we mean by double positive? Meaning to say, CD4 positive sila, CD8 positive din sila. And we do not want that in your body. That's why your eosinophil are the one that will that will cause its deletion or apoptosis. Aside from that, your eosinophil can also act as APC. What are APCs? These are antigen presenting cells. Okay? What are APC? These are antigen presenting cell. Sir, what are antigen presenting cell? By its name, okay? They present antigen to whom? Okay? They present antigen to your other WBC. In this case, they present it to your lymphocytes. Are we clear? So, they are antigen presenting cell. Aside from that, they promote proliferation of effector T cell. Okay? What do we mean by proliferation of effector T cell? Remember guys, that your eosinophils are capable of killing your parasite, but they cannot do it alone. That is the reason why they will now recruit. Okay? They will now promote the proliferation of your T cell. Okay? They will now start to proliferate your T cell, and then eventually those T cell will finish the degradation of your parasites. Okay? Degradation of your parasite. And one thing that is very important for you guys to remember when it comes to eosinophil is that they degranulate through exocytosis. Okay? They degranulate through exocytosis. What do we mean by degranulation? Remember, di ba, ang dami-dami niyang granules. Paano niya yun i-release? It will not just burst out. It will undergo exocytosis. Okay? Exocytosis. So, that is how it happens. Okay? That is how it happens. And please remember, okay, that ayan, it will initiate type 1 or type 2 cells. Okay? Sa T cell yan. It also regulate mast cell function. Okay, how can it regulate your mast cell function? Because I don't know if you still remember, but na-mention ko before during the beginning of hematology natin, during the orientation in hema, that your eosinophil is called to be the hallmark of allergic disorder. Okay, hallmark of allergic disorder. Please write it down. Eosinophilia is the hallmark of allergic disorder. Although, okay, to begin with, it's not the eosinophil that cause the allergic reaction. Natatandaan, your eosinophil are the one releasing your antihistamines. Okay? Because your mast cell and your basophil are the one that release, okay? They are the one who release your histamine. And what they are trying to do is just to regulate that function. Okay? That function. So si mast cell and si basophil naglabas ng histamine. Dahil doon, because of the histamine, nagkaroon ka ngayon ng allergic reaction. Okay? The goal of your eosinophil is to regulate that allergic reaction. That is the reason why they are the one increased during allergic reaction. Nagigets ako? Are we clear? So the number of eosinophil in your body reflects the severity of your allergic reaction. Nagigets? Gets po? Hello, everyone from the chat box. So, gets tayo dun ha. Si mast cell at si basophil yung nag-cause nung allergic reaction because of their histamine. But, okay, ang nakikita natin in the peripheral blood smear, what we are seeing in the complete blood count, the one that is increased is actually your eosinophil. Why? Because this time now, your body is trying to regulate the effect of your mast cell and your basophils. Okay? Again, hallmark of your allergic reaction is eosinophilia. Okay? So, two things. Okay? Eosinophilia can be seen during allergic reaction and during parasitic helminth invasion. Okay? Parasitic helminth. So, ibig sabihin yung mga flatworms nyo. Okay? Nagigets po tayo? Hello? Tatlo lang yung nag-yes. Okay, there are only 3 among you guys that are responding. So, I hope na I'm clear to everyone, ha? So, that is for your eosinophils. So, what are your Charcot-Leyden? Kanina, di ba? We are saying na may Charcot-Leyden crystals tayo. Please take note of this because it came out of the board exam many times already. So, Charcot-Leyden crystals, okay, are found in the sputum of asthmatic patient. Okay? These are found in the sputum of your asthmatic patient. So meaning to say, 'di ba, ang asthma kasi is the dilation is the constriction of your bronchial passage because of the release of histamines, okay? Because of the release of histamines. So because of that, okay, andyan ulit si eosinophils mo, okay, your eosinophils will be there. So your Charcot-Leyden crystals, remember, are actually part of the primary granules, okay? The primary granules. O, balik ko lang kayo dito ha. Your primary granules contain your Charcot-Leyden crystal protein, okay? And these are the one that is increased or that are seen in the sputum of asthmatic patient. Seen in the sputum of your asthmatic patient. So they are hexagonal bipyramidal crystals that are colorless. But when stained with hematoxylin, it will be colored black. If it's stained with eosin, it will be stained red. Okay? It will be stained red. So again, eosinophilia is the hallmark of allergic reaction, and your eosinophils are increased during bronchial asthma, during scarlet fever, eczema, and parasitic infection, specifically during your helminth. Okay? During your helminthic infection. Are we clear? So Charcot-Leyden crystals, Charcot-Leyden crystals are seen in your sputum, specifically in your asthmatic patient. Okay? In your asthmatic patient. So, I hope very na-awaken na yung mga clinical brains ninyo because papunta na tayo ng papunta sa mga different diseases. Sir, similar po yan sa artifact sa urine, right? Wait lang. May artifact ba na Charcot-Leyden sa urine? Charcot-Leyden. Yeah, pwede naman. Yeah, pwede naman. Kapag may eosinophils. Okay, wait lang ha. Tapos na ba kayo sa diseases sa ano? Tapos na ba kayo sa diseases sa... Hindi, IgA yun eh. Okay. I'll confirm that ha. I'll confirm the other body fluids na ano. But in the sputum, it is seen in the sputum. Okay? It's seen in the sputum. So let's go to basophil. Guys, tatapusin ko to ha. Kasi I need to be on track. We need to be on track. Although naman yung iba pa ulit-ulit na lang. So just bear with me. Okay? So let's go to granulopoiesis of your basophil. Okay? So let's go straight to your basophil. So start... Ay, eosinophil pa rin ako. Okay, let's go now to your basophils. Okay? Let's go now to your basophil. So, Your basophil, simple lang, okay? We'll start immediately with your basophil, okay? So your basophils, okay, usually the nucleus of your basophil are bilobe, okay, connected also with a thin filament. Although you would not bother looking at the nucleus. Why? Because I'll explain it later. The nucleoli are not visible. The chromatin are coarse and clumped. The cytoplasm are lavender to colorless, and it contains large granules, okay? It contains large granules that are colored purple, deep purple to black, okay? Deep purple to black. So as opposed to your eosinophil mo, red to red-orange, your basophil, the granules, the secondary granules are colored dark purple to black, okay? Dark purple to black. So, what happened here now, okay, what happened in your basophils now is that you are no longer able to see your nucleus. Ayan siya, okay? Minsan it's so hard to look at the nucleus of a basophil. And mind you, okay, among the granulocytes, your basophil are the least commonly seen, okay? The rarest seen na granulocytes in the peripheral blood smear. Okay? In the peripheral blood smear. Although, sabi ko nga kanina, di ba, it is the one that is actually the one releasing your histamines, siya ang hindi nakikita during allergic reaction. Okay? During allergic reaction. So let's go to the function of your basophil. Basophil are also for immune regulation. It really it it ano ba yung initiate? Other term for initiate. It actually initiate the release of subtype T helper cell subtype 2. Okay? It induces your B cell to synthesize your IgE. Okay? It induces your B cell to synthesize IgE. Maybe this is one thing na you have to really remember. It induces B cell to synthesize your IgE. So together with eosinophil, they control helminth infection. Okay? Together with eosinophil, they control helminth infections. So, sorry. So, ayan. So, during worm infection, okay, during infection, so there are two, your eosinophils and your basophil. Although in most of the literature, it is your eosinophil talaga that is mostly um, associated with parasitic infection. Okay? Mostly um, um, associated with parasitic infection. So, okay. So here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. So, let's try to differentiate your basophil and your mast cell because they look the same, okay? They actually looks the same. So, your mast cell, okay, your mast cell are effectors of IgE-mediated allergic reaction. So what do I mean by that? So when there is an increase of immunoglobulin E, okay, your mast cell are increased, okay? While your basophils in itself are already the initiator of your allergic reaction. Okay? So basophils, okay, contain these granules, okay? Their secondary granules are rich in histamine, and I want you to take a look at that. They are rich in your histamine and also your heparin, okay? And here heparan your chondroitin sulfates, okay? So heparin and your histamines, okay, are located in the secondary granules of your basophils, okay? Located in the secondary granules of your basophil. So, I hope na na nagigets nyo pa ako, ha? Nagigets nyo pa ako. So, ang important na matandaan nyo dito is the function of your eosinophils and the function of your basophils. So, let's go now to your monopoiesis. This is now for your monocytes. I only have 2 minutes, so baka mag-extend ako ng konting-konting minute lang. Okay? So, let's go now to your monopoiesis. Okay? Your monopoiesis. What time is your next class, guys? 1:30 or 12?
1:30 po, sir.
Okay, thank you. So let's go to your monopoiesis. So we have here your monocyte, okay? Your monopoiesis now, kanina nandun tayo sa granulopoiesis, your basophil, eosinophil, and your neutrophil will go now to your monopoiesis for your monocyte and your lymphocyte. Although the lymphocyte will be only given an overview here because when you go to immunology, your immunoseronexem, you will be tackling specifically how your B cell and your T cell mature in your body. Okay? How they mature in your body. So let's go to your monocyte first. So it originated from your monoblast. Okay? It originated from your monoblast. So your nucleus are round to oval and has irregular shape. The nucleoli is 1 to 2. The chromatin are fine, and the cytoplasm are light blue to gray. So please remember that this is found in your bone marrow. Okay, this is in your bone marrow. And granules are absent. There are no granules present. This is how it looks like. Okay, very clean. The um the nucleus is very round, okay? Round to oval. Again, you cannot see it in the peripheral blood smear. You cannot see it in your normally you cannot see it in your peripheral blood smear and your complete blood count, but only in your bone marrow. Next, we have your pro-monocyte, okay? Your pro-monocyte. Your pro-monocyte has irregularly shaped nucleus that are folded like a brain-like convolution. Let's go na directly ha. Ayan. So as you can see, in your pro-monocyte, okay, in your pro-monocyte, your azurophilic granule starts to appear. Okay? There are now granules here that are appearing. Sir, sabi mo agranulocyte. The agranulocytes are your lympho. Okay? So moving forward, okay? Again, your promonocyte are seen only in your bone marrow. Seen only in your bone marrow. So your promonocyte, okay, your promonocyte, please write this down. Your promonocyte can give rise to 4 monocytes, okay? It can give rise to 4 monocytes. So madali lang, 'di ba? After your monoblast, it becomes your promonocyte. It will now become your monocyte. So let's go now to your monocytes. Okay? So your monocytes are um are characterized to have a horseshoe shape, a horseshoe shape nucleus or a kidney shape nucleus. Okay, this is already mature. Okay, so your monocyte, okay, your monocyte has a horseshoe shape nucleus. So nucleoli are no longer visible. The chromatins are characterized to be lacy. Okay, lacy in pattern, and the cytoplasm are blue to gray. Very important to take note when it comes to monocyte is that it contains azure dust. Okay? It contains your azure dust. These are indistinct granules in your cytoplasm, causing it now to be appearing as a ground glass. Okay? It has a ground glass appearance. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, okay, please focus on the PowerPoint. Things that you need to remember when it comes to monocyte is number one, it has a horseshoe-shaped nucleus or a kidney-shaped nucleus. Okay? And aside from that, when it comes to its cytoplasm, it has a ground glass appearance. Ground glass appearance, and it also has your azure dust in the cytoplasm. Okay? Sir, distinct po ito. Yes, distinct po ito when it comes to your monocyte. Okay? This is how it looks like. Okay? This is your monocyte. Ayan. So, horseshoe shape, minsan nga magulo, 'di ba? This is your ground glass appearance, and this is a better look at your monocyte. Okay? Better look at your monocyte. So it looks like your band cell. Okay? It may look like your band cell, but it is distinctly larger compared to your band cell. Okay? Compared to your band cell. Okay. So sabi natin kanina, 'di ba, the mature, okay? The mature um the mature monocyte can still differentiate, becoming your macrophage. And let us now try to differentiate, okay? The one that you see on your peripheral blood smear, that is your monocyte. If it is already in the tissue, you don't call it monocyte, we call it macrophage, okay? We call them macrophage. During the stage of monocyte, they are slightly immature cells still, because their ultimate goal in life is to become what? Is to become a macrophage. Okay? To become a macrophage. And your macrophages are seen in your tissue. And these are the different destination of your monocytes. So please take a copy. Okay? Have a copy of this one. So we have in your liver, your lungs, your brain, your skin, your spleen, your intestine, synovial, your kidneys, and even in your reproductive organs. Okay? Even in your reproductive organs. Okay? So, gets tayo. So, function of your monocytes, of course, they are part of the innate immunity, and they also function in the adaptive immunity. And they are called housekeeping cells because they remove debris in your dead cell. Okay. Number one, why are they in the innate immunity? Because they can undergo phagocytosis. Okay? They can undergo phagocytosis. Adaptive, sabi natin dito, they can because they are, I will not explain the adaptive and innate immunity yet kasi part na yan ng immunology, and baka malito lang kayo lalo. Okay? Because that's a different a different topic pa for another time. Okay? So, are you still there? Konti na lang, guys. Are you still there? Hello? Okay. So, I'll just try to finish. This is your lymphopoiesis now. Your lymphopoiesis, okay, your lymphopoiesis is the production now of your lymphocytes. So, in the production of your lymphocytes, we all know that from a common lymphoid progenitor, it can now become, okay, it can now become your B cell or your T cell. Okay, your B cell are the one that will mature within your bone marrow. Your T cell are the one that will mature in your thymus. Okay, the one that will mature in your thymus. So when it comes to the maturation of your lymphocytes, there are two general please look at your chat box, guys. There are two general phases. One is your antigen dependent and your antigen independent. Okay? Antigen independent. Ayan. Antigen dependent and antigen independent phase. So, your B cell they mature in your bone marrow. Your T cell mature in your thymus. Okay? They mature in your thymus. So, moving forward, okay, let's just proceed here, ha. From your lymphoblast, okay, your lymphoblast, it is round to oval. Chromatids are fine and evenly stained. Cytoplasms are scant, slightly, and moderately basophilic. Okay, they are basophilic. So, what I just want you to remember, guys, is that lymphoblast is the earliest cell in the lymphocytic maturation series. So lymphoblast, after ni lymphoblast, we will now have your pro-lymphocyte. Okay? After your pro-lymphocyte, okay, your pro-lymphocyte, the nucleus are round and indented. The nucleoli are now can now be absent, and then the cytoplasm are light blue. Okay, so kung mapapansin ninyo, there is no actual differentiation when it comes to their morphology. Para silang magkakamukha, correct? And what I want you to remember lang is that your lymphoblasts, your pro-lymphocytes are all in the where? They are all in the bone marrow. Okay, they are all in the bone marrow. Now, in the case that the lymphocytes, okay, are now mature, they have two destination, either in the bone marrow to become B cell or in the thymus to become your T cell. Okay, so your lymphocytes are round to oval, Ayan. So, their cytoplasm are scant, sky blue, and their vacuoles may be present. Okay? Vacuoles may be present. And this is the appearance of your lymphocytes. What I want you to remember when it comes to lymphocytes, okay, are this. Okay? Your lymphocytes originated again from a lymphoblast. It became your pro-lymphocyte. It become now your lymphocyte. Your lymphocyte can be two, your B lymphocytes and your T lymphocytes. Okay? Your T lymphocytes in your thymus, B lymphocytes your in your bone marrow, okay? In your bone marrow. Your T cells are responsible in your cell-mediated immunity, that is your CMI, and your B cells are the one responsible for your antibody production, okay? Antibody production. Sir, bakit po may NK cell? NK cell are capable of directly killing tumor cells and viral infected um virus-infected cells. Okay? So, si natural killer cell, para siyang assassin. Once na makita niya, it can already kill it. Okay. One of the most distinct characteristic or if your monocytes, tinatawag natin siya na it has a ground glass appearance, your lymphocytes are also um, um, very much known to have a robin egg blue cytoplasm. Okay? Robin egg blue. Okay? So, parang si Kit, Robin. Okay? Si Adrian Robin Kit. Robbie pala siya. Hindi pala siya Robin. Okay? Robbie lang pala. So, your robin egg blue cytoplasm are characteristic of your lymphocytes. Okay? Are we still clear there? Clear pa ba ako? Okay. So, your lymphocytes, ayan, sabi natin ha, I'll just go to your B lymphocytes muna. Your B lymphocytes can mature into becoming your plasma cell, okay? Into becoming your plasma cell. So, your plasma cells are what? Your plasma cells are the one that are producing your antibodies, okay? So, this nucleus, okay? The nucleus of your plasma cell are characterized to have a cartwheel appearance or a cartwheel pattern. So the cytoplasm are characterized to have your Russell bodies, okay? To have your Russell bodies. So if your nucleus are cartwheel in pattern, the plasma cell has Russell bodies in the cytoplasm, okay? Russell bodies in the cytoplasm. And these Russell bodies are the secretory globules or the secretory globules that produces your protein. What specific protein that is? That is your immunoglobulin. Okay? That is your immunoglobulin. So, to finish everything, so I'll finish na by 12:15, promise. So to finish everything, let's top it up with the function of your lymphocytes. So they are responsible for antibody production. To be specific, I want you to be specific ha. The one responsible for the antibody production are your B cells, more specifically your plasma cells. They are also responsible in antigen presentation to T cell. Okay? They mediate immune response against intracellular and extracellular pathogen, and they are also responsible for self-tolerance. Okay? For self-tolerance. So the reason why you have autoimmune disease are because of erroneous deletion of your lymphocytes. Okay? Deletion of your lymphocytes. So let's just try to wrap up your monocytes and your lymphocytes. One very important that you need to remember when it comes to monocytes, okay? They are horseshoe nucleus and then ground glass appearance and of the cytoplasm and the presence of azure dust. When it comes to lymphocytes, okay, tatalon ako when it comes to your lymphocytes, the robin egg blue cytoplasm. Okay? Plasma cell, what I need to remember about plasma cell is the nucleus, cartwheel appearance of the nucleus, and the presence of Russell bodies in the cytoplasm. Okay? The presence of Russell bodies in the cytoplasm. Okay? So, that is it actually for your lymphopoiesis. Eto sa megakaryopoiesis, we will just be having an overview of megakaryopoiesis because it will be for your hematology too. So for megakaryopoiesis, there are three morphologically identifiable stages. We have your megakaryoblast, your promegakaryocyte, your megakaryocyte, and eventually it will now become your platelets. Okay? It will now become your platelets are produced directly from your megakaryocyte cytoplasm. Much of that with your hematology too. Kasi meron pang sariling kaguluhan si megakaryopoiesis. Okay? Megakaryopoiesis. So before I end, ayun lang sa ng loob. Okay? So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much. So